Gang, I haven't sprayed Followed by Kerosene since earlier this year, and it's all over a brand new jacket that I brought back from Europe. How in the world can that be? So rarely have I re-reviewed a fragrance by a brand. I've done it a few times here and there, but it's been a long time since I have re-reviewed a fragrance. But today, in this video, I'm re-reviewing Kerosene by Followed, and I'm going to tell you how nuclear this fragrance is, all coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian. Yes, today we're talking about Kerosene Followed once again. In my experience with fragrances, I have a ton of fragrances. This is the studio that I shoot my videos in once in a while. There's over 4,500 bottles here, and the most nuclear fragrance, Followed by Kerosene. So can fragrances be too much, too overwhelming to even wear? I'm getting to a point where I feel like Kerosene's Followed is exactly that. Now, circling back to how Kerosene Followed got on my jacket, a brand new jacket I brought back, never got near the bottle of Followed. I never sprayed it, never did. How did it get on my new jacket? It's because I hung it next to a jacket that Followed had been somehow sprayed on. And my brand new jacket smells of Followed. In fact, on a trip recently, in a hotel room, I hung my jacket up. The entire room smelled like Followed. Went to my mom's for Mother's Day, put it in the spare bedroom that I use when I go visit her. That room smelled like Followed. And as I said, I haven't sprayed Followed since the beginning of this year. How in the world is this happening? So in a video or a few videos that I've done recently mentioning Followed, it had gone on my pants. And I don't spray my pants, right? This fragrance has such a big cloud. You have to be very, very careful where it's sprayed. It can stay in a room and not leave the room for at least a week. And then if those spritzes end up on your shirts or pants, which is how I ended up with getting Followed on my pants, where I've dry cleaned it 2 or 3 times, and the smell is still lingering on. That's how nuclear this is. Kerosene's Followed is the most nuclear fragrance I've experienced in modern times, in current times. I don't have a fragrance that's as intense as Followed, and I don't know if I'll ever will. I mean, there are fragrances that have major potency, but not the lingering power of this fragrance. Did I even want that? I don't think I wanted it because, you know, I do enjoy beast mode fragrances. I do enjoy potent, really, really heavy fragrances. But I also don't want to smell that fragrance weeks on, you know, after, like weeks after that I've sprayed it. I don't want the fragrance to linger on that long. I think it's a maple syrup fragrance, right? So it's a coffee fragrance, and it is the follow-up to Follow. It's called Followed. So sort of similar, but not quite. For me, Followed is more of a maple syrup gourmand with a coffee touch, whereas Follow is all about coffee, no maple syrup. But man, this thing is nuclear, as I was saying. If you want a fragrance to last days and days, this is the fragrance for you. But you gotta enjoy the smell of maple syrup. For me, so it's a very syrupy, molassesy fragrance. So I would say it's molasses with maple syrup, and then you have the touches of coffee and cocoa in there. You get them. So it's a gourmand fragrance, but man, it's just intense. It's really, really intense because as I was traveling with this jacket this last week, I was gone for a week to Los Angeles for art and olfaction events, and then I was flying to see my mom, and I took this maple syrup fragrance of Followed with my jacket everywhere. It was just unbelievable how long of a staying power this fragrance has. It clings on and doesn't leave. Really, literally. Now, as I was saying, I haven't sprayed this on since last year, probably the beginning of this year, but I feel like because of the experience I had with this fragrance, I decided not to, because this is a small studio. I don't have a lot of space here, and it traps in here because I've sprayed it in here earlier when I was testing the fragrance on, and I'd come back the next day and the room would still smell like it. So it took like a week for the scent to completely disappear out of the room. But obviously my jacket, it's taken months and months and months for that smell to disappear. It's really caked on, and the sprays were not even that many. I would say 3, 4 at the most. And I don't literally spray my clothing with this. I always spray my hands and maybe my neck. But the cloud just takes it on your clothes. I never sprayed my pants, never did. And that pair of pants, even after 3 dry cleanings, it's jeans, it's still on there, and I can smell it every time I pull it. It's like, what the heck is going on with this fragrance? I don't know what Kerosene has done to create this fragrance, and I don't know the scientific or the perfume ingredients that they would use to create fragrances. I personally do not know, but whatever he's used here, it has that clinging power, the intensity, and the longevity. So if we want fragrances to last, whatever Kerosene used in Followed should be used in a lot of other fragrances. Now, it could probably smell totally different. Maybe perhaps it's the maple syrup ingredient that's in here that has that longevity and that intensity and the clinging power. But man, this is, as I was saying, one of the most intense, if not the most intense and longest lasting fragrance in current or modern times. It's nuclearly beast mode. So a little comparison between the two, as I was saying, with Kerosene's Followed, it's coffee, cocoa, caramel, maple syrup, vanilla, amber. And then with Follow, it's coffee beans, vanilla, benzoin, tonka, sap, and amber. See, there's sap, but there's no maple syrup in Follow. And Follow smells more like coffee. Followed smells like coffeed maple syrup or molasses in general. But anyway, I wanted to do a re-review of this one because I wanted to highlight its intensity. It is the longest lasting fragrance for me. And the fact that my jacket, as I was saying, has never been sprayed with this. In fact, I haven't sprayed this fragrance for months. And somehow, now it smells like Followed after it was hung next to a jacket that smelled like Followed. I think that's an amazing thing for a fragrance. For those of you that are looking for a really, really intense fragrance, you got to get your nose on this one. But of course, you got to appreciate gourmandy notes. You got to appreciate, you know, syrupy, molassesy notes. You got to enjoy maple. You got to enjoy maple syrup, I mean, and you got to enjoy coffee to appreciate this one. But if you do, it's a given that you should test this out and wear it. But judging from the comments I received, even people that really, really love nuclear beast mode fragrances are a bit turned off by the performance of this fragrance because it is overwhelming and it lasts forever. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Let me know your thoughts on Followed versus Follow. I should say also, Follow performs like a regular fragrance. It doesn't have the nuclear performance. I'm not sure what Followed has in it, as I was saying, I don't know, that creates that nuclear touch, but it is amazing with its performance. And this is the kind of performance, maybe a little less than this because this is just nuclear. Maybe a little less than this is what I would prefer for a lot of fragrances to have. But either way, if you haven't checked out Followed, please do check it out. Find out how it smells, spray it. But keep in mind, if you spray it in your room and you have a small room, that smell is going to stay in there forever. And then also, if you spray it outside. Don't spray it near your clothes because the cloud will just cover up your clothes and it'll smell like it forever. And then if you get it on your jacket or pants and you hang it up and you hang something else next to it, that smell is going to transfer over. It's like a disease, kind of. A smell disease. What the heck? But wow. This is a powerful, powerful fragrance for every perfume aficionado should experience. Try it. See for yourself how nuclear Followed is. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. A re-review of Kerosene's Followed because I find it to be the most nuclear fragrance. Let me know your thoughts on this fragrance. Are you curious to try it? Are you overwhelmed or turned off by the idea that this might just stay forever with you? I'd like to find out. And let me know if you're more into subtle skin scent, you know, closer to the skin type fragrances, or if you like this, you know, the most nuclear fragrances ever. I'd like to find out. Put a comment down, please. And thank you so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. Gang, if you haven't purchased your Scent Club kit number 5, they are selling currently, and I'm really happy with the way this kit turned out. I think we're almost at a point with these Scent Club kits to be 100% perfect. We do have the new EVAs now. As you can see, they're not rolling around in the boxes anymore. And also the labels are almost 100%. We're still working on fine-tuning the labels on the bottles. I think by kit number 6 it should be 100% hopefully, but we shall see. But we've got 3 great fragrances in kit number 5. We've got Fleur de Lalita from the House of Parfums Dusita. It's a beautiful green floral, perfect spring fragrance. We've got Wake Up World with the Infinity Sign by Parlez-moi de Parfum, a great fragrance created by Michel Almerac, which is kind of reminiscent to Paloma Picasso's Minotaur from 1993. So 30 years later, we've got it in a kit, which I'm really grateful that I was able to use here in Scent Club kit number 5. And then finally, we've got One Day's Oolong Tea, a beautiful, very smoky oolong tea fragrance. It's very cozy with a jasmine edge to it as well. So it has a bit of a tobacco-ish vibe, I should say, you know, the fragrance number 3, Oolong Tea. So 3 beautiful fragrances, perfect for spring or any time of the year. Here are the bottles, as you can see right here, Fleur de Lalita, Wake Up World, and then of course Oolong Tea. Let me know your thoughts if you've already received kit number 5. And again, as I said, this kit will sell out very soon, so if you haven't purchased your kit yet, please do so, and I have a link in the info box. Thanks so much for watching today. Have a good one. Bye-bye.